Before we get going, I would like to acknowledge two of our sponsors this evening, Horace Height of the Horace Height Estates, a residential community located in Sherman Oaks, the place you come home to, and Gaspar Insurance for all of your insurance needs with offices right here in Woodland Hills Warner Center. If we can have a bit of applause for those two folks. They're making it possible for us to videotape and bring this to the rest of the community. If we can begin next with Ray Bishop. Ray Bishop will have the next question from Stephen Holzer.
Good evening, candidates. Thank you for appearing. Los Angeles certainly is noteworthy in the services it is both offering and prospectively offering to the homeless. Is it not the case that the more benefits and services the state and localities offer to the homeless, the more homeless we attract, thus never getting ahead of the problem?
You know, I've heard that argument, and you know, and it may be partially correct, but at the same time, you know, we are people, and I think that we, as people, have to care about others. And the homeless problem is a huge problem in our city, and we should do everything we can to create facilities to take care of that problem and to do everything we can, regardless of where the people came from. They're still people, and all people should be treated equally, and we need to solve that problem. And if I may have misspoke. I am in favor of the gas tax. I think that that's the solution to our transportation, and I may have misspoke on that one. But I do believe that the oil is contributing to our problems.
Thank you.
We need to deal with it.
Thank you very much. Next, Justin.
The services that are offered to homelessness, to help the homeless, are vital. It's just compassionate and human nature that we need to help those people. But at the same time, politicians have been using that as an excuse to tout progress that they've made when they've been ignoring the underlying causes of the homelessness itself. And it's going to be vital that we actually have an open dialogue that is working towards solutions as opposed to just making sure that those people are taken care of.
Thank you. Next, Jeff Bornstein.
You know, homelessness is not a monolithic problem. I see it as a three-pronged problem. You have three different types of folks out there. You have individuals and families who are poor. You have people who are addicted to alcohol and drugs, and then you have the mentally ill. And those are three separate types of folks. Each one of them has to be dealt with differently. I don't think you're going to get a lot of the people off the streets. Most of the people who are homeless now have been on the streets for a couple of years, and they're used to it, and they're not used to being indoors. We're going to have to find a way, a happy compromise, a sad compromise, to take care of these people without making it too much a burden on ourselves.
Thank you. Thank you. Daniel Brin.
I'm not a fatalist. I know what we could do. I know that after the Great Depression, where there are more people on the streets than there are now, we managed to recover and build a strong economy. We need to attack this problem in multiple levels. We need to preserve rent controls to keep people from being ejected into the streets. We need to build housing that luxury all the way down, because if people who are don't have housing here, they will move to Highland Park and they will move to Boyle Heights, and will continue the process of gentrification that will push the most marginal people out on the streets, and that's exactly what we've been having. A few weeks ago, I toured permanent supportive housing, which is the way we should go, where we have people are taken off the streets, they have good, clean homes, and they have the supportive services, mental health services that they need
Thank you.
to succeed.
Thank you very much. Jesse Gabriel.
Yeah, I sort of disagree with the premise of the argument. I think we need to take a compassionate approach to our homeless problem. I think that it's a quality of life issue. It's also something I think people in this community have realized that ignoring it is not a solution to the problem. We have 47,000 people in LA County that are homeless right now. Now the state and the city have taken, the county and the city have taken some important first steps with Measure H and HHH, but there's a lot more that we need to do. I think that we should look at other jurisdictions that have successfully addressed this problem, and that's been places like Utah that have used a housing first model with wraparound supportive services. And I think we need to understand some of the larger causes. So we first and foremost have a housing affordability crisis in this state. We are 49 out of 50 in per capita housing. We just don't have enough housing, and every year we have a bigger deficit. So I think we need to find ways to build more affordable housing, to get folks who need help into permanent supportive housing, to provide them with the mental health and substance abuse services that they need, and to get them off the streets.
Thank you very much. Tricia Robbins-Casson, please.
This is a question that's actually very near and dear to my heart. Some of you may know this already, but it's not something I talk about very much. When I wound up having to drop out of school at 16, I had to move out of my home as well. And that's because we had family issues. And during that time, I had nowhere to go. I was homeless and it was a very short period of time, granted, but for 3 days I lived in my car. And I had $1.38. I spent $1 on gas. I saved the other 38 cents. I had a loaf of bread and a jar of jelly. And if it weren't for somebody taking a chance on somebody who didn't have, I had a dime. I had 38 cents. But if it weren't for somebody taking a chance on me, I don't know what would have happened. So I disagree with that. You know, it's people who either want to be on the street or who are mentally ill or who have drug issues or addiction issues. I think that, a lot of folks, the housing affordability crisis is one of the biggest things. People are one sickness, one missed paycheck, one small catastrophe away from not being able to afford their homes anymore. And I don't mean purchased, I mean rental homes. So these are things that can push people into homelessness. Because of this, I think that there are many different things that we need to look at as the solutions for this. And the other people here had indicate some of these solutions as well.
Thank you. Anchor.
The underlying causes of homelessness, mentioned them a little bit. Mental illness, drug addiction, family issues, poverty. The rich are getting richer, and the poor stay poor for a lot of reasons. This is a societal issue we need to address at many levels, as other people have mentioned. Now, are we going to build our way out of it? No. We have to make it easier to build affordable housing, as other people have said. One particular issue that I've been talking about, no one else has mentioned yet, and I think people agree with, is safe parking. Right, we have hundreds, if not 1,000+ people just here in Assembly District 45 living in their cars, sometimes more than 3 days at a time. And the wraparound services and transitioning those individuals, those families, those students. We have not just 47,000 people living on the streets in LA, it's probably a lot more than that. It's an underestimate. LAUSD, we have almost 10 to 15,000 students, kids that are homeless in the city of Los Angeles right now. This is such a tremendous issue, and we need to have creative thinking on how to address this, inclusive thinking. And it's great to see that so many people are concerned about this and the resources are coming to it. But let's make sure that the money gets spent to help the people that it's supposed to help, not to continue to criminalize homelessness or into developer pockets, but into solving the solution.
Thank you. Thank you very much.